Bone broth has been used all around the world and is known for its healing capacity. It improves your joint health, your gut health, helps with inflammation, certainly helps with your microbiome, which we know is so important to staying metabolically flexible and avoiding disease. It helps with your skin with collagen, and it provides some much needed minerals. So let's go through a very simple demo on how to make bone broth at home, reduce the cost, and make sure you're getting all the great nutritious components of good bone broth. Now you can start with a lot of different things. I like to save bones. I simply put them in one of my little silicone bags. I drop them in here one at a time and freeze them, keep adding to it, and then when I have enough, I can simply add it to my crock pot and make my bone broth. So that's one way of doing it. Now, I don't always have bones on hand because I don't always cook my meats with bone in them. So I like to buy a good quality 100% grass-fed beef marrow bones. This brand is Grass Run Farms. I purchased this at Sprouts. You can research this and find out where it is in your local area, or simply look for something that's the equivalent. Now, the nice thing is, right on the back, it has the recipe. And if you go to my website at peakperformancehabits.com, you will find my recipes. And also, make sure you go to lowertoxiclife.com, get the free guide, and that includes recipes in it as well. So all I'm going to do is simply add this to my crock pot. Now, I like to use an old-fashioned ceramic style crock pot. I'm going to cook it on low, and I'm going to let it cook on low for at least 24 hours. From there, you can add in anything. Apple cider vinegar, I like to use the organic With the Mother brand. There's a lot of different brands. This is Bragg. It's very well known. Costco sells a great brand as well. I add that in, and then I'm going to add in a host of vegetables. Now, it's kind of funny. Sometimes our vegetables get old and crummy looking, and we may think, oh, these aren't good anymore. But they are. I'm just going to simply pull off this layer and throw it in there and let it cook. This is an organic fennel. I have onion, carrots. These are organic carrots, so they don't look quite as fancy and cleaned up as often the ones that you find in the store, but I don't care what they look like. I care what they taste like and how nutritious they are. A little red pepper if you choose, certainly garlic. Now, I'll be honest, I also love to cheat, and I always keep some pre-diced garlic. Whoop! I keep some pre-diced garlic in my refrigerator to throw in there. And then, as I've showcased before, I do a vegetable clean out every single week, and I will freeze any vegetables that are getting old. So this is an example of carrots and celery. I like to add celery in here as well. And then you can put anything you want. I put sea salt. I'll put in sea salt, put in pepper, turmeric, anything that you truly enjoy, you can just add into your bone broth. And again, let it cook for 24 hours at least. And then once it's done, I allow it to cool. I simply strain it. And then sometimes I will pulverize the bones very simply in a good quality food processor, and I will add that to my dog's dog food. I don't like to give him those softened bones, but I will add it to his dog food because they're organic, they're pasture raised, and they're good for him. Once my bone broth is done, I simply freeze it in my glass jars. I leave a little bit of space so that it can expand while it's in the freezer, and it's not going to crack my glass. And then I simply label it with what it is and the date that I cooked it. Don't forget to get my guide over at lowertoxiclife.com for more recipes. Subscribe to the channel like all the cool people do so you can be alerted for any other tips. And if you have something to share, please leave it below in the comments. I would love to have a dialogue with you.